Hi, today's Saturday, January 21, 2023. I'm Jason Shapiro with crowdedmarketreport.com. So in today's video, I thought I would get away from what I think is probably the least important part of making money over time, which is having a view on the markets and all that, and get back into what I think is much more important and the most important part of being able to make money over time as a trader, which is psychology and right here in your brain. And I took a list that was put up by this guy on Twitter named Mark Minervari, I think is his name, who I do not know, but seems to have a really good grasp on markets and psychology and what it takes to win and all that. So I was going to go through this list and try to make some comments on how I felt about this because I think it's a good one. All right, so number one, admit you suck. All right, this is a hard thing to do. None of us want to suck. None of us want to admit we suck. Okay, but you know what? When it comes to speculating on future price movements in markets that are pretty efficient and our discounting mechanisms, we do suck. Okay, and that's not just you, that's also me. Right? I write a newsletter and I keep a lot of notes, and I get to go back and I get to look at all the things that I was wrong about. And I think that's an important thing to do. The greatest way, of course, to do this is just look at your P&L. All right, and if your P&L is not good, then it's not hard to admit you suck. And this is step one, because if you can admit that, then you can admit that I need to start making some changes. I need to clearly look at some other things so that I can stop sucking. All right, and that goes right into this number two, which is believe you can be great. You can be successful at this. It's very difficult, and there's a small percentage of people that are over time. But you can, and it starts with admitting you suck, and then therefore start to looking into other things so that you can not suck. Find someone great. Okay. My problem with this one is it's hard to find somebody great. What I believe with that is find someone who sucks, which is much easier to do. And that's why I'm a contrarian, and that's why I like to fade. We have a saying at Crowded Market Report, which is don't trade, fade. If I could find some incredible trader spoke to me every day and told me what he was doing, well then that might be great. Although it's not that great because I don't know when he's changing his mind. I don't know when he's going to be wrong. Listen, I have managed to make money over time doing this, and I'm wrong well over 50% of the time. But you can find someone who sucks, who's wrong a lot more than that, and you can fade them. So rather than find someone great, I'm a big believer in find someone who sucks and continues to suck and doesn't change his ways and is pompous about it and all that. And I've talked about that before. 4, shut up and listen. Okay, yes. This was supposed to be find someone great, shut up and listen. Find people that understand what it takes to be successful, and yes, listen to them and stop being so stubborn, yes. 5, commit to a proven process, sacrifice all other processes. I'm a big believer in this. I trade essentially one process, and that's not to say there aren't other processes that may work, but I have found that my process has over time worked, so I just stick to that, and everything else gets thrown away. I miss many trades because of that, but I also miss many losing trades because of that. And if it's working, then that's the process I'm going to stick with. 6, don't try to find time, make time. Yes, trading is very difficult. If you think you're going to wake up and you're going to trade for 2-3 hours in the morning and you're going to make a couple $1,000s a day and you're going to go home and be happy, great. I personally don't think you're going to do it. This is very difficult, and you need to make a lot of time to do it. Today's Saturday. I just spent, 3 hours going through my stuff, trying to figure out where I'm going to use my process in the next week or whatever to make money. All right. Do I want to do this on Saturday? Well, I'd much rather be sleeping, but this is what it takes. It's just like anything to be successful. It's not a question of luck. It's a question of working very hard and then making your own luck. So yes, find time, make time. Don't find time, make time. 7, take consistent action. All right, this goes right back to commit to a proven process. Consistency, just like with anything. Consistency. Don't break your process. Stay consistent to it. It's very hard, but that's what discipline is. Stay consistent to it. Don't get in the way of FOMO. Don't have all these things affect you. Stay consistent to what you do. 8, push beyond your comfort zone. Same thing. Your comfort zone is not being disciplined. All right? Get out of your comfort zone. Be disciplined. Absolutely. 9, embrace setbacks as valuable teachers. Correct. And this goes back to Don't just blow off your setbacks as though it was an unlucky trade, or the algos came in, or I couldn't have known the CPI was going to be this or that or the other thing, right? You have to be honest with these setbacks, and the number one place to go is your P&L. Okay, and if your P&L is not where you'd like it to be honest about it. That's a setback. What can I learn from that? You should be taking notes, truthfully, on all of your trades, why I did them, how I got in, how I got out, where my stop was I disciplined to that process? Because this way you have an entire notebook of information where you can find your setbacks and therefore use those as valuable teachers. Very important process, okay? I did that for many, many years, and while I don't keep a notebook anymore, I do have a written history of what I'm doing in the form of my newsletter, and I get to use that, and I go back all the time and I read these things all the time. And what I love to see are the things I was wrong about, because those are the things that are going to teach me, right? And remind me that I'm just as we say, number one, I suck just as much as anybody else when it comes to predicting the future. So I'm not going to rely on that. I'm going to rely on my process, right? 10, make your dream a priority. And this gets into it, like, is your dream to make money in the markets? Because if it is, you better spend a lot of time doing all of these things, because it's very, very difficult. As the numbers show, a low single-digit amount of people actually make money over time trading the markets, right? So this has to be a priority. If you're here to trade because it's fun and maybe you can make a little bit of money somewhere here or there and all that, that's one thing, but then that's not your dream. That's just a hobby, and that's fine. I always have said, the thing about hobbies, and I have a few, they cost money over time, right? So if you're going to treat this as a hobby, that's up to you. I get it. Not everybody's going to do this full time, and some people just like to do this. It's fun, gambling, and hey, some days you can make some money and all that. But if this is your dream, if your dream is to make money trading over time, yes, you better treat it as a priority, not as a hobby. Okay? So those are some of the lessons there. I think that this is a great list, and I think it's important. And I'm always happy to hear comments or questions. And please join us on Crowded Market Report, where you'll find this and many other great things I think that will help you trade. All right, thank you, and have a good week.